Welcome back, everyone. This is Nate from Nate's Here and There. I am coming to you. I actually am in Rockwell, North Carolina. I'm coming to you from St. Luke Lutheran Church Cemetery. I thought we'd walk around the cemetery and see what kind of old graves we can find, some military. So grab a chair, sit back on this day the Lord has made, and enjoy. And the first one I come up to is Columbus Hosier, 1851 to 1934. His memory is blessed. And somebody still comes out here because they put a Christmas wreath on the grave. And here's the headstone of James Monroe Hosier, 1874 to 1936. And they got a humongous headstone right here for the family. That thing is huge. And this is his wife, Cora Boss Hosier, 1876 to 1970. And here's the headstone of Pearl H., the wife of C.A. Boss, 1895 to 1927. She wasn't that old. Like maybe 30s. She was young. There's Clarence A. Boss, 1891 to 1991. And here is Anne Hosier Boss, 1904 to 2003. And here is Ethel Weisher, the wife of B. Griffin, 1893 to 1919. And here is Jeannie Reed, the wife of J.D. Washer, 1870 to 1958. I think this is the oldest one I found out here so far. And here's J.D. Washer, 1887 to 1919. Gone but not forgotten. And here is the headstone of, these were sisters. Mary Emma Peters, 1851 till 1930. Catherine Baker, 1844, and they don't have her death. That's really odd right there. And here is Lily Bost, 1866 to 1949. And Harris Boss, 1861 to 1937. And here's Isabel Teresa Barrier. The only thing it shows is her birth, 1933. She may be still alive. There's Minnie Lee Boss, 1904 to 1990. And Clyde Moore Barrier, 1900 to 1974. 74 years old. Now here's the oldest one. Sarah McCombs, 1838 to 1910. James D. Combs, 1847 to 1912. Now, this is the oldest one I hear so far. Before I start on this one, this is a whole family. It's the family headstone, and you got all these smaller headstones in here. But this one is Joseph Eugene, son of J.B. Flora McCombs, 1923 to he was a baby. Maddie Hoster, wife of J.B. McCombs, 1873 to 1900. She was young. Joseph B. McCombs, 1872 to 1961. And Flora Trexler Combs, the wife of Jamie McCombs, 1883 to 1934. And I came across my first military, Bruce Ben Cooper, F2, U.S. Navy, World War II, 1915 to 1980. If you watched any of my videos, you know, at the very end, I will do a tribute to all the soldiers, all doctors, truck drivers. So stick around for the tribute video. And here is Thomas Reinhardt, 1872 to 1970. Lodi Mary Fisher, wife of Thomas H. Reinhardt, 1878 to 1975. Here's Martha Bost Reinhardt, 1887 to 1984. Ralph Reinhardt, 1907 to 1941. And here's Daniel Boyd Tweed, 1901 to 1944. And here's the Virginia Tweed. This is his wife, 1909 to 1939. Oh, she was only 30 years old. Here's Dottie Reinhardt, 1911 to 1940. Here's Berlin Reinhardt, 1913 to 1991. William T. I cannot pronounce that. Miss Hammer, 1921 to 2004. And here's Stella E. Miller, 1920 to 2005. Homer Coleman Miller, 1900 to 1953. Fida Miller, 1901 to 1953. Lexi Miller Brown, the wife of John Herbert Brown, 1922 to 1953. That's a pretty good name right here. John Moses Frick, 1888 to 1946. Sally F. Frick, 1888 to 1968. Clyde Luther Miller, 1905 to 1946. Luther Adoptus Miller, 1875 to 1957. And Ida Evan Livery, 1876 to 1952. And here's Beulah May Holster, wife of James Miller, 1896 to 1968. And here's James Miller, 1889 till 1963. And here is Hal C1 Hal Edwards Miller, born 1922 to 1942. Lost at sea in World War II. Thank you for your service. And here's Corporal Hoy Miller, 1924, killed in combat in northern France in 1944, World War II. Thank you for your service. Now, let me say this. If you've seen any of my videos, you know that I will get, if you see me getting on a tombstone of a military that's passed away, I will let it go for a little bit. So what I'm doing is paying the soldier tribute, or kind of like a moment of silence. So don't click off the video. I'm just giving the soldier a moment of silence. And here's Etha Frederick Park, the wife of H.C. Park, 1890 to 1953. And here is Herbert C. Park, which is H.C., 1889 to 1969. Wade F. Park, 1917 to 1934. Oh, he was young. J.W. Park, 1914 to 1915. A baby. And there's an infant son. Well, it don't say, I'm sorry. It just says infant of H.C. and Ethel Park. Now, this is a unique last name. Jefferson D. Shue, 1863 to 1943. And his wife, Anne E. Page Shue, 1867 to 1955. And here is Mary Frick, wife of Homer H. Dreyer. That's a weird, unique, I'm going to say this, just a unique last name. 1908 to 1953. And here is Alexander Trexter, 1851 to 1929. His wife, Rosa. And I cannot pronounce that last name. 1851 to 1929. And here is Henry J. That's all it says. Son of J.L. and Laura. Oh, Holhauser. 1906 to 1920. And here is John L. Holhauser, 1860 to 1928, and his wife Laura Holhauser, 1872 to 1953. And here is Reuben Heller Fisher, 1884 to 1967. Let me zoom in so you can see it. I don't know why my phone ain't zooming in. There we go. And Pearl Goodman Fisher, 1884 to 1969. Now here's Joseph C. Missenheimer, 1870 to 1935. His wife, Margaret C. Missenheimer, 1868 to 1959. And here is Julius. I'm trying to zoom in right quick. Julius Frick, 1866 to 1941. Minnie E. Miller. This is his wife. 1869 to 1944. And their son, Grady. 1912 to 1924. Oh, he was young. And here is W.J. Missenheimer, 1893 to 1963. Margaret, Maggie, I don't know how to pronounce that. E. Trexler, 1901 to 1930. She's 29 years old. Here's James William Missmere. No, not 2000. Let's see, this is 26 and 07. Or I guess that's 1926 to 1907 or 2007. I'm sorry. Here's Margaret Lucille, 1910 to 1925. She's a livery. That's the family headstone right here. And Mary Evan, 1904 to 1936. John C. Livery, 1868 to 1949. Alice Ward, this is his wife, 1873 to 1951. And this is Ollie P. Cruz Missenminger, 1888 to 1963. Moses Missenminger, 1886 to 1916. That's a unique last name, I'll tell you. There's Jacob M. Miller, 1887 to 1958. His wife, Bertha May Missenminger Miller, 1896 to 1944. And John M. Goodman, 1862 to 1913, and his wife, Julie Ann Goodman, 1863 to 1939. And here's John W. State Leather. I'm serious, I'm not joking. That's the name. 1916 to 1989. He was a Tech 5 U.S. Army World War II. Thank you for your service. Here's Daniel Lee Van Hoy, 1920 to 1984. He was GM2, U.S. Navy, World War II. Thank you for your service. Here's Harvey A. Wyatt, 1877 to 1956. Roxy L. Wyatt, 1881 to 1973. Here's Daniel L. Miller, 1891 to 1942. And there's another one of those names I cannot pronounce. Cobble, Emma L. Cobble Miller, 1891 to 1984. Hugh Albert Beaver, CM3, U.S. Navy, World War II, 1926 to 2013. Beloved husband, thank you for your service. And here's Charles Edward Odom, Tech 5, U.S. Army, World War II, 1924 to 2018. Thank you for your service. And this is Floyd David Miller, Sergeant, U.S. Army, World War II, 1918 till 1992. Thank you for your service. And here's Paul C. Miller, Corporal, U.S. Army, World War II, 1918 to 1984. Thank you for your service. And here's the headstone of John. Let me zoom in right quick. John A. Miller, 1880, 1963. And his wife, Rose Dyer Miller, 1882 to 1956. Let me zoom out right quick. I want you to see this headstone, a family headstone. This thing is huge. There's a lot of them out here that's big like this. Now this is Luther Earl Sides, 1904 to 1973. Let me zoom back in. And Jesse Liverly Sides, 1904 to 1978. And this is Charlotte Earnhardt, the wife of Moose, John C. Moose, 1878 to 1958. I wonder if she's in the kin to the Earnhardt family. And this is John Cobbard Moose, 1875 to 1953. And here's William C. Powell's, U.S. Army, U.S. Air Force, World War II, 1917 to 1998. Thank you for your service. Here's Clifford T. Beaver, North Carolina, private first class, company M119 Infantry, 30th Division, World War I, 1892 to 1964. Thank you for your service. Here's Maddie E. Beaver, 1888 to 1945. I guess this is Clifford's Beaver's wife. And here's John Thomas Tolley Jr., Private First Class, U.S. Army, Korea, 1931 to 2017. Thank you for your service. And I also got to say something about John Thomas Jr., the one I just did. He likes trains, or he was worked on a train. It's on his tombstone, and they got a little model train right here. And here is Herbert Freshman, Corporal, U.S. Army, World War II, 1923 and 1991. He was a Purple Heart recipient. Thank you for your service. And here's George Calvin Boost, North Carolina, Staff Sergeant, U.S. Marine Corps, World War II, 1922 to 1970. Thank you for your service. And here's Dermore L. Boss Sr., Sergeant, U.S. Army, World War II, 1924 to 1977. Thank you for your service. And here's Melvin Michael Hall, Tech 4, U.S. Army, World War II, 1917 to 1982. Thank you for your service. And here's Jasper Weaver, 1870. That's the only thing it has. His wife, Sarah Beck Weaver, 1872 to 1954. And here's Dan W. Cheek, Sergeant U.S. Army Air Corps, World War II, 1922 to 1987. Thank you for your service. And here's John Walters Peeler, 1895 and 1970. He's North Carolina SFC Motor Trans Corp, World War I. Thank you for your service. And here's Ralph Alexander Brown, U.S. Army, World War II, 1926 to 1987. Thank you for your service. And here's Fred Littleton, Reinauer, Corporal, U.S. Army, World War II, 1920 to 1975. Thank you for your service. And here is the headstone of Raymond Eads, 1884 to 1959. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. I walked around the St. John's Lutheran Church Cemetery here in Rockwell, North Carolina. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit your bell to notify you when I upload videos just like this one. And if you want to support the channel, I'll leave my Cash App and my PayPal in the description of my channel. And I have a Patreon page. Go check it out. Go get signed up. I take requests over there. So, you know, cemeteries have to be 2 or 3 parts. I take requests over there. So go get yourself signed up. With all that said, be safe, God bless, and we'll catch you on the next one. And remember to let go and let God. Bye now.